What we do here is go back.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Meeting with the Managers. My name is Mike Oxlong. I'll be your host today, filling in for Phil Asio, who is out of town looking to attend the Cleveland Browns game this weekend. Today, we have a first-time guest on Meeting with the Managers, a longtime member of this league, a manager who's had a very up-and-down path throughout their time in this league, but is making their second playoff appearance this year. I'd like you to help me welcome on manager Robert Nettles. Robert, welcome to the show.
What's up, Mike? How you doing?
I'm fantastic. How are you? How are you feeling getting into the playoffs?
Man, it's a feeling like no other. I'm telling you, like obviously you mentioned long time member of the league, helped commish along with Sam. Obviously he's the main guy, and I'm thirsty. I've been thirsty. Obviously, I've had some disappointing seasons. So, it feels great to get back in to answer your question. Ultimately, I'm glad to be here, blessed. And, there's a lot of stiff competition. So I just got to keep my head up and my eyes on the prize.
You heard it here first. Manager Robert Nettles is thirsty for that stiff competition. Robert Nettles, let's start with the name. Where does it come from?
That would be my mother. At birth, they didn't have one, and then they thought of the name Robert. It was actually my grandfather's name, so that's, I guess, strong name.
You have an average finishing position of 9th in this league. You finished 12th place last year with a 3-10 record. In the 2019 season, you finished 11th place. In between those two, you made a playoff appearance. Now you're looking to make another playoff appearance this year. What do you make of that ping-pong-like trajectory that your team seems to have every other season?
Yeah, obviously, Mike, I'm not going to come here and, spit in my hand and try to shake yours. There's been some ugly things going on, no excuses for it. Had some rough seasons. My last season in the playoffs, I think what it came down to is I made a major trade mid-season, a big trade I made. I acquired Justin Herbert, my new quarterback, changed my whole identity, my name to Trust in Justin. We made a run that season. It was a disappointing ending. I think, to answer your question moving forward, I've kind of changed and adjusted the way that I've addressed things this year. Different draft method. I know that I had, a lot of eyes on me during the draft, but really just trying to reshape my process essentially. And I think it's working for me. And I think this new method is going to be the way that, we change the culture around here, change the way we do things. And we've kind of raised the bar for our expectations on a yearly level. Everything from the past aside, we have the future to look forward to, and it's bright. It's bright in Duval.
It's bright for Duval Diamonds. You're right about that. And you alluded to something I want to touch on, the draft strategy. What was a key difference that got you from 12th place last year all the way into the playoffs this season? What was that change for you?
And I don't want to give away all my secrets. Obviously, I got to keep some stuff for myself and maintain, what we do inside the walls of our club and the privacy of the whole, situation. But I will say, kind of removing some of the computer side, analytics side, the draft boards that they kind of project on ESPN, and kind of taking it into my own hands from other sources that I feel are credible, from guys inside the organization, our eyes and what we've seen in the past. And really just that I'd say that's the main difference, is just, kind of readjusting ourselves and just trying to completely change the way that we address the draft process and evaluate these guys that we're taking.
And a complete change you've made. You've also been really aggressive as far as acquisitions have gone this season. You've made 3 trades this season. How would you say that those trades have panned out for you at this point in the season?
Yeah, I'd say that obviously you got to make moves. This is a league where if you're sleeping, you're going to get caught and they're going to catch you bad. So, I'm always active on the waiver wires. I like to think that, I play them very well. I keep my eyes out looking for guys. As far as the trades go, I think they've panned out well so far. So obviously the one with, the Taint Touchers, I acquired a tight end right after mine was hurt. That trade didn't really work out for me, I'd say, but it didn't really hurt me either because I traded Darnell Mooney. He was out, and now he's out for the rest of the season. So essentially, that was just a no play, a scratch. I acquired George Kittle as well as Marquise Brown, gave up Mike Williams. He's a great receiver, but we have Marquise Brown now. It came back, played a good game. I have high hopes for him going into the playoffs. So I think that kind of went in my favor. Some just chips, some follow my way. I'd say that, I've made some good trades and I think they've kind of kept me going. Even though I'm not going to sit here and act like we're undefeated by any means. We've had our struggles and we've struggled to put multiple wins together. But at the end of the day, I like the way we're looking.
Speaking of that notion of looking to string together multiple wins, I took a look back at your schedule and you have not won more than 2 games in a row. Currently, with the way the playoff picture is set, you're going to have to win 3 games in a row to get all the way to the championship and bring home the ultimate prize. Do you think you can string together your longest streak of wins this season?
I absolutely do. I think my team is really coming into stride at the right point. And I really believe that. That's not me trying to, bubblegum the situation. I got all my guys past bye weeks. All my guys are healthy relatively with the exception of Zach Ertz, and I picked up Kittle. So that's almost an even trade in my eyes. No disrespect to the players, but, Kittle's a great piece. I got 3 of my running backs are in the top 5 fantasy. So we got Ramondre Stevenson, or if they're not in top 5, they're right outside, and they would be top 5 plays on any given week, given their progression through the season. Ramondre Stevenson, Nick Chubb, Austin Eckler have really, kind of kept things together for me. We have a rotation of receivers, but CeeDee Lamb has recently been turning on. Lamar Jackson's kind of up or down, but we trust him as our guy week in or week out. So, yeah, to answer your question, I don't have any fear about stringing together wins. I know we can compete with the best team at any time. I've been, highest scoring team since week 2 or 3, I believe. And any given day, I can put it up with any given team. So I'm not worried about that at all.
Speaking to that point, you put up 15,085 points up to this point in the season. That is 152 points below the all-time scoring record set just last season. Do you think you can put up at least 153 points this week and claim that title in your journey for a championship?
I have to be honest with you. I haven't put too much thought into it. Neither has anybody in the organization. I mean, we hear noise and ultimately our goal here this year and every year going forward is to go to the playoffs, play championship caliber football, and win a chip. So, I mean, would it be nice? Would it be a token to the guys who worked so hard this season? Absolutely. Would we rub it in the face of the, past record holders? Probably so as well. But just respectfully and hopefully that record would stay for a while if we end up achieving that. But ultimately, we're still focused on, the season, the postseason, and just our next opponent.
Certainly. And you have beat 2 out of the 5 playoff contenders in the regular season, one of those being your Wizard Spina, who you're currently slated to go up against in the first round of the playoffs. Do you think you can hand that manager another loss?
No question. And again, no disrespect to the team. Spina is a very talented manager, and I like Spina a lot. We go back quite some time. He's always looking at the waiver wire. He's consistent with his team. Just a really great fantasy football player. I vested him once this season. It wasn't too long ago. I was not at full health then, or I had someone on buys. I believe he did too. I'm back at full strength. I feel confident, like I told you before. I think I can best him. And who knows, obviously we have one more game. We're not going to count anything out. So we might even see a reseed. I'm comfortable against anybody else that I can see in the playoffs at this point, including anybody with a bye week. I'm not afraid of that either.
You mentioned that there may be some reseeding. I personally believe that we are going to see a bit of a shift with these Week 13 matchups. Is there any manager in the playoffs that you are particularly looking forward to facing? Think you can really send them on their way early?
Man, well, I'm going to give two parts to this. First, I'm going to tell you who I really don't want to see, and that's Keller. Dude's been nasty, and nobody would have thought, the whole year. He hasn't missed the playoffs, so we know he's a good player, but, he's been a juggernaut, and I think he's won 10 in a row now, which is, I believe, a league record. So nothing to play with, and he's scary. On the other hand, who has the other bye is manager Tyler. I think that he's had some luck this season. I love Tyler as well. Great manager. I think he's had some luck, and I kind of like to get my chance at him. We had met early in the season. I believe that it was week 3, something around there, and he bested me by, it was a small margin. So I'm really looking forward to hopefully meeting with Tyler.
You have a 21-28 all-time record. That includes this season. You have a bit of a reputation around the league for just simply not being able to put it together, not being able to win. Do you feel that reputation is earned, or do you feel that you've defied the reputation with this wonderful season that you're having currently?
Again, I'm not going to try to sugarcoat anything. We've had rough times. I think that any criticism we have as a team has been deserved. It comes down to us not playing consistently, not playing as well as we should, not playing up to our standard. And as I've mentioned several times, the standard has been reset. So you said, what was it, 21-28?
Yes.
We'll get positive very soon here. I guarantee it. And I hope that gets in the newspaper. We'll frame it and put it out right in the coach's office. So we're looking forward. Like I said, looking forward.
Speaking in a more general sense, this is the first time that all 12 managers have returned to the league. It seems that there's a consistent crowd in this league currently. How do you feel about the landscape of the league today?
Hey, it feels good, man. I really appreciated all the media members, kind of putting stuff out for people to read, putting it out for people to see. So that's really cool. You can tell everybody's very involved. The group chat's active and people are having fun. Everybody's coming back. I hope everybody comes back next year. We're able to establish some, consistent rule changes now. We're able to up the ante, hopefully, and make it a more serious league that people really care about for years to come. We've already got a good established history. Let's keep it going and let's make it great. And I think, that's exactly what we're doing.
Wonderful. Sounds like a presidential candidate. You were speaking about some potential rule changes. Were there any that you voted on in particular that you're hoping get implemented into next season or beyond?
Yeah, obviously I don't want to talk too much about my political affiliations on the sports network, but I'd say, one that really stuck out to me, and I think that it's a fair rule, is the quarterback throwing touchdowns is a 6-point touchdown rather than a 4-point touchdown. I understand everybody might not feel that way, and that's perfectly fine. I'm glad we got a democratic process in place to be able to vote on stuff like that, no matter what side you're on. But personally, I think a touchdown's a touchdown, and I see quarterbacks have 1 a game, 2 a game. Depends. If you have Patrick Mahomes, you might have more. Make his draft stock a little higher. But at this point, rushing quarterbacks are creme de la creme because of that, potential for the 6-point in the red zone. So that is one I felt personally. Other than that, I can't think of too many others so far, but I'm glad that there's been some thought put into the process and, the acceptance of change in some areas. Not too much, so I like what we have.
Now, as we wrap up here, are there any statements you want to make out to the league yourself as Robert Nettles, manager of Duval Diamonds? Anybody you need to put on blast? Anybody you need to give a warning to that you're coming? The floor is yours.
Now, I'm coming for everybody. I got to say that I just want to say my draft process worked. I haven't won a championship yet. I haven't accomplished my ultimate goal, but my team's highly improved, and I plan to stay this way for years to come, motherfuckers. And we gonna win the motherfucking bowl, baby.
Alrighty. Shooting for the moon, Duval Diamonds, wishing you the best of luck with the playoffs. Thank you so much for joining me on Meeting with the Managers. And for the rest of you, thank you so much for watching. My name is Mike Oxlong, and we'll see you in the playoffs.